Welcome back to The Truth with Trinity, and I am your host once again, Trinity. And if this is your first time tuning into the podcast, welcome. Here I talk about issues that happen within the black community, hopefully for some type of resolution, advice, or at least some food for thought to go about your daily way. So, as always, I'd like to jump right into the topic at hand, and that is black women who degrade black men. Okay, so the famous term, I don't know if you've ever heard it as a black man, or you may have heard of, one of your, black friends that talk about it as a man, and they say, they're in an argument with a black woman, and she says the famous term, the negative term, and I'm gonna put it in a nice pretext, so I'm gonna take out the curse words, but I'm pretty sure you've heard of it before, and you'll pretty much be able to guess the curse word. So that's man, you ain't nothing. So I'm replacing the man with the N with the man and nothing with the S word. So, I'm trying to keep it clean here, okay? So, you know, it's easy, as a black man to just chalk it up as, oh, there's another angry, bitter black woman, right? She's angry, she's bitter, she's, degrading another black man, emasculating another black man with her speech, right? And that term usually comes up, when she's dissatisfied or in a heated argument for the most part. And I wanted to talk about a few reasons where that comes from. Okay, where because that it's not just a term, it comes with a mindset, like a preconceived notion on how you view men. And we're talking about black men and we're talking about black women for the most part, okay? Um, the first issue I'd like to bring up is a lot of times this type of ideology is taught by a mother or some type of strong female influential role model in a young woman's life. So this may be something that an elderly woman calls herself teaching the young black woman the game of life, like don't trust a black man, don't give your heart to them, they're nothing, they'll cheat on you, they'll play you, they'll take your money, whatever, that advice she calls herself, giving that young black woman, quote unquote, hipping her onto game, okay? um so that's one aspect, and then there may be an aspect that influential woman may be speaking out of that past hurt and pain that she's been through as a woman. So she's, teaching a young woman, hey, don't fall for this or that because, these men ain't nothing out here. So she's already spoiling and tampering with the young woman's mind, tainted to believe that, negative adjectives about black men. So that can happen. Or lastly, um, with this point, they firsthand could have seen their mother or something like that go through an abusive relationship with, their father, boyfriend, or something like that. So, she's like, hey, guys, can be pretty negative, okay? Another thing that's really big is, you know, there's a lot of black women that have been mistreated and mishandled by the males in their family. Okay, because you know, a lot of times, a lot of sisters they'll bring up their past relationships with men and the bad things they've been through, and a lot of times, a guy's response will be, um, well, you've dealt with the wrong men. Okay, you've entered into a relationship with the wrong man, which may be true sometimes. But the problem lies though when the mistreatment didn't start with the men she had a choice to date. The key word is choice. Sometimes she's abused, physically assaulted, raped, molested, by fathers, brothers, and uncles. Okay? And this is going to tie into my third point, but that's a deep issue right there because a man is the first um, influential figure in a woman's life, especially as an adolescent girl. A lot of times men symbolize protection, security, provision. And when that's tampered with and destroyed, that could like misconstrue a whole lifetime for a woman and how she views men. Okay, which leads into my third point of PTS, post traumatic stress disorder. So, you're arguing with this woman, and it's just everyone has arguments, couples and stuff, and no man is perfect, just like no woman is perfect. But you get that horrible term thrown at you. You're nothing as a man. Like I said, I'm cutting out the curse words, but you're like, hold on, where'd that come from? And I mentioned the post traumatic stress disorder because a lot of times what's happened with in a woman's past, it tends to come up. Okay, and it might not have anything to do with you, which ties into the famous slogan that women are often told, hey, you can't make a man pay for what other men have done in the past. Okay, that may not have anything to do with the current man that you're with. And my advice to sisters out there is this: if you know that you have issues and unresolved problems emotionally with men, there is no problem with staying single until you resolve those issues, because what we don't want to do as women is we don't want to keep this domino ocean wave effect going, because what you don't want to do is you don't want to call the wrong man that. And the reason why you don't want to call the wrong man that, because that does hurt a man's self-esteem. And if whether we like to believe it or not, ladies, men do have feelings, and we don't want him to leave a relationship with us and go out mistreating other women because of how we treated them. And he could have been a great guy. Once again, no man is perfect, but he could have been a great guy. And to throw those terms around, and he goes out and mistreats another woman because now he has a negative outlook on women. Okay, so that's pretty much my advice. If like I said, if you know that you got a problem, you don't, you're kind of feeling negative about men, definitely, do some self-healing, self-reflection, and until you can get back out there in the game. Okay. That pretty much wraps up this segment. It's been a pleasure talking with you all. If you would like to ever contact me, you can at thetruthwithtrinity@gmail.com. Also, you can hear my podcast on YouTube. It's the same name, The Truth with Trinity. Once again, it's been a pleasure. Have a great day. Peace and blessings.